Hi everyone, Petrik here. This is the first episode of SFF Spotlight in the year 2025. This is episode 79 now. So if all goes according to plan, this year we will reach episode 100 of SFF Spotlight. I feel like I have to celebrate by doing something on that. But speaking of celebration, apparently my channel has reached 40,000 subs on the last day of 2024, or maybe on the first day of 2025. So I guess in a way I managed to reach my goal. So thank you so much. And I cannot believe there are 40,000 of you subscribed to my channel. And if all goes according to standard, I've been gaining 10,000 subscribers every year. So I'll be reaching 100,000 subs in the year, 2030, 2031. Wow, still quite a while. Okay. But anyway, I will still do my best. And if you're somehow new here, SFF Spotlight is a series of videos where I usually talk about new book news, new cover reveals, new special edition, and also new Kickstarter campaign, plus noteworthy release in the adult science fiction and fantasy genre. And in today's episode, I'll be talking about some book news first, because I still haven't talked about the state of Sanderson. So let's talk about that. State of Sanderson 2024. So Sanderson has outlined his plan for his upcoming books in the Cosmere and non-Cosmere. And I will just be giving a bit of my thoughts here about the Cosmere stuff. And I think even though there is some break here, I'm actually super excited about Ghostbloods and also not gonna lie, the sequel of Elantris, even though in my opinion Elantris is one of his weakest Cosmere novels, probably my second least favorite Cosmere novels compared to everything, and I have read almost everything except Wind and Truth, which I will do really soon. But anyway, Elantris was Brandon Sanderson's debut novel. And with Sanderson's skill now, there is a good chance that the sequel will be much better than the first book. And then, of course, Mistborn. Mistborn will always have a special place in my heart because it is the series that turned me into a reader of fantasy novels. And every era will always excite me, and I look forward to reading Ghostbloods whenever it's out. And in the plan, it seems like the year 2028 up to the year 2030 will be full of Ghostbloods and also the sequel to Elantris, and then we will get Stormlight Archive 6 after. That's most likely in December 2031. So my thoughts about this, it means even though we are getting some breaks here, and I think we do need some breaks, well, not really a lot of breaks though when you think about it. There will be Secret Project novel, Isle of the Ember Dark is coming in the year 2025, and then knowing Sanderson, there will be more books in the Cosmere anyway to fill the gap. So 2028 until 2031 will be an incredible reading years for us Cosmere fans. And my thoughts on that, I think that's awesome. So for now, for those of you who are worried about Stormlight Archive 6, waiting for it, I don't think you should be. I mean, yes, it is still quite a while, but he has succeeded in closing the first arc of the Stormlight Archive. And then there are so much more details about the state of Sanderson in 2024, and I will leave the link in the description down below. There are details about Mistborn movie adaptation that is not happening yet, but I still have faith that that will happen eventually, and then translation and so many stuff. There are so many stuff in the state of Sanderson 2024, maybe his biggest yet so far. And then it is not only about Brandon Sanderson, because Ryan Cahill is also posting his Chronicle of the Cahill, and this one is just almost as long as State of Sanderson, and it is only him writing the Chronicles of the Cahill. Ryan talked about his projects for the Bound and the Broken series, and yes, he has finished writing the draft for Of Empires and Dust, and I look forward to reading that this year very much, because I love Of War and Ruin. I think Ryan is an author that keeps getting better and better with each book, and if you are still haven't read The Bound and the Broken yet, or maybe you have tried reading Of Blood and Fire and you decided to not continue, I do recommend you to at least continue to Of Darkness and Light. You will be surprised by how much Ryan improved in his storytelling craft in these two books. Believe me. And yeah, if you are already a fan of The Bound and the Broken, then well, make sure to check out Chronicles of the Cahill, because there are a lot of good stuff there, like upcoming projects after the completion of the Bound and the Broken special edition and many more. And then there are still many other authors who did this recap thing, but for the last one, I think I'm just going to spotlight Fonda, who talk about the last contract of Isako that is slated to be released this year. That's a new sci-fi novel, sci-fi or space opera novel coming from Fonda. And then after that, we also have recap and details and upcoming projects from the one and only Joe Abercrombie, Lord Grimdark himself. And then The Devils will be released this year at the end of May. And Joe Abercrombie has mentioned about the special edition coming for The Devils and then what he plans to write after. And also, speaking of Joe Abercrombie, there is an upcoming interview hosted by my friend and also a Collectible Book Vault and also Anthony from Curious King, together with Joe Abercrombie, I think in his home. And I will leave the link to that interview in the description down below. Make sure to check that out if you're a fan of Joe Abercrombie and also special edition stuff. And before I talk about special edition and also Kickstarter campaign, I want to spotlight 4 new book news and also cover reveals. And for the first one, because I just talked about Grimdark Fantasy by Joe Abercrombie, let's talk about another, well, I think this will excite a lot of the fans because this is about Chronicles of the Black Company by Glen Cook. And this is for Lies Weeping. This is the newest book in the Chronicles of the Black Company. And this, I think it's mentioned that this is part 1. So there's a chance that this will become a duology or maybe another trilogy, the last trilogy in the Chronicles of the Black Company. And then the cover art is once again illustrated by one of my favorite artists, one of my dream artists, and it is Raymond Swanland. And if you haven't checked out Raymond Swanland yet, then check out his portfolio. They are full of some truly incredible imagery and also containing a lot of great portfolio, because a lot of artwork from titles such as popular titles such as MTG, which is Magic the Gathering, and then Star Wars, Warhammer, and the Chronicles of the Black Company, and so many more, and they are all so awesome. I think Raymond Swanland is an amazing artist. And then moving on to the next one, this is for the cover reveal of Blood Brothers Beyond by Rob J. Hayes. This is for all of us who are a fan of the Mortal Techniques series by Rob J. Hayes. And Rob finally released his newest novella in the world of Mortal Techniques. It has been a while since I read Spirits of Vengeance, which still, in my opinion, is Rob J. Hayes' best work. But yeah, it has been a while since then, and I'm so happy with this reveal and also this release. The book is out now. I think it's about 100 pages long, so you can read it very quickly, and I need to get to that really soon. Yeah, the cover this time though, it is not done by Felix Ortiz. This time it is done by Andrew Maleski, but the design is still done by Shawn T. And yeah, I really like Mortal Techniques series. I look forward to reading this one as soon as I can. But moving on to the next one, speaking of novella, I want to spotlight this one because this is a cover reveal and also a new book announcement by Callum Lott. And Callum Lott is one of the few authors, probably the only author I know that actually utilized John Devlin as the main illustrator of his books. And then John Devlin is an artist that I've been a fan for maybe 20 years now. I don't know, it's been so long. But John Devlin illustrates a lot of From Software games illustration. And if you are a follower or a subscriber of VatiVidya videos, then you will know who John Devlin is. But John Devlin is the main cover artist for Arkoma by Callum Lott. So Arkoma is the newest book in the world of the Dirge of Cascaeus, and I still haven't read that science fantasy novel yet, but this is a long novella or maybe a short novel. And this one has been pitched as a sci-fi western, revenge heist, mafia mashup, and also it is slated to be released on the 28th of January, so within this month. But if you are a reviewer and you want to sign up for the advanced reading copy, it is possible to do that now. I will leave the link to the advanced reading copy sign up form in the description down below. And I want to say congratulations to Callum Lott for this incredible cover art again. And of course, John Devlin, you never cease to actually impress me. I think your style, your way of using colors in your illustration, it is so distinct, and I just love your illustration very much. So yeah, if you haven't read A Dirge of Cascaeus yet, and also maybe you want to try something shorter, then I think this could be the one for you. And then finally, the last book news after this, I will talk about Kickstarter campaigns and also special editions. So for this one, this is the last one. This is about a popular Chinese web novel, and the title is Lord of the Mysteries by the Cuttlefish by, I don't know the name of the authors. They use a lot of alias, and it is so long. The alias is so long, the Cuttlefish that dive or something. But anyway, A Lord of the Mysteries is a super highly acclaimed web novel, Chinese fantasy web novel, steampunk fantasy if I'm not mistaken. I have wanted to read this one last year and I couldn't get around to it because of just how awful reading year 2024 was. I don't think it was the right time for me to dive into Lord of the Mysteries. But the news is this. One of my biggest worry about Lord of the Mysteries is that I don't think there was an official translation. It is all fan translated, even though the web novel can be read for free on the website. And yes, you can actually read this for free now. But I haven't gotten around to it yet, and I was worried about the quality of the translation. So Yan Press, or Ize Press, has acquired the rights to do the entire series, if I'm not mistaken, the English translation, the official English translation of the entire Lord of the Mysteries. Now, my dilemma is whether to wait for this one or not, or maybe just dive into the free web novel anyway. But I'm so excited to be reading this one. Everything I heard about this one, especially in my video about web novels, it just excites me. I think this or Worm by Wildbow will be the next priority web novels for me. I'm sorry I couldn't get around to Wandering In yet, but I don't think it is the right time for me to dive into that series. It is just too massive and too intimidating for me right now. But anyway, that's it for the coverage of book news. Now let's talk about Kickstarter campaign and also special edition. Let's talk about Kickstarter campaign first because I only have two to spotlight. And the first one is about my project or my collaboration with Raymond. And yeah, this is for a limited deluxe bookmark. And yeah, I will be signing this. And I think this one, the Kickstarter campaign will goes live on, I think on the month of February. So next month. So yeah, not long from now, but as you can see, the illustration of Choco Boy in the samurai armor with his katana in his mouth, I think it looks amazing. And yeah, it is done by Tom Jilesen. So some of you have asked me whether I always had interest in doing this kind of bookmark or not. So the answer to this is quite simple. Ratemark approached me about doing a project with them, and I love what Ratemark is doing with their books, and I'm interested in this one because I want to make Choco Boy my best friend and also my dog. I want to make him more remembered in the eyes of my viewers as well. Not only by me, because I will always remember Choco Boy forever, but I want him to be remembered for many years to come. And I want you, my viewers, to remember that. This does not mean that you have to get the bookmark. I think it's priced at $10. But if you do, please let me know. I think it will make my day, and also it will make Choco Boy's day. And yeah, that's all I want really from this bookmark. But even though the Kickstarter campaign hasn't gone live yet, I will make sure to leave the link to the page in the description down below. Now let's talk about Bastion by Phil Tucker. So for this one, this is the first book in the Immortal Great Soul series. I haven't actually finished this, but I have read like the first 25% and it was really good. The prologue, which is the cover art here, it's amazing in particular, and I really need to get back to this one and continue with the series. But the Kickstarter campaign for this will be, I think, live this month. This will be the last section of today's SFF Spotlight video. So if you are not a fan of getting special editions, then you can just sign off here. But yeah, I will be talking about special editions announcement now. The first one, this is about Fire and Blood by George R. Martin, Folio Society edition. And this time, I think this one will be released on the 28th of January. And because I already own the entire A Song of Ice and Fire collection, Folio Society edition, thank you so much to Folio Society and also my friend Adi Raven for making sure I have 4 books in the A Song of Ice and Fire Folio Society edition. But because I own them and I love them so much, I definitely will have to get a copy of Fire and Blood Folio Society edition with an illustration done by, this time, Audrey Benjaminsen. I think that's how to pronounce the name. But yeah, Jonathan Burton is not returning to do a special edition of this one. This time it is done by Audrey Benjaminsen. But I really like the cover art. I think the red color scheme works so well for Fire and Blood. And yeah, I look forward to getting a copy of this one. But for the next one, this is for a Grim Oak Press announcement. Grim Oak Press has announced their upcoming first quarter of the year titles, and it contains a lot of exciting titles such as The Wounded Land by Stephen Donaldson, Book of the Ancestor Omnibus by Mark Lawrence, and also illustrated by Francesca Resta. And this one, I will try my best to get a copy of this one because I really love Book of the Ancestor by Mark Lawrence. In my opinion, that is still his best series. So I will try my best to get a copy of this one. And then there's also the third book in the Fionavar Tapestry by Guy Gabriel Kay. And then there's also the announcement for The Wise Man's Spear by Patrick Rothfuss, illustrated by Mark Simonetti. I think that one is slated to be released in the year 2026 though. But yeah, there are some details about this, and I will make sure to leave the link to the announcement in the description down below. So if you are a fan of Grim Oak Press books, then make sure to check out the link in the description down below. And then I will be talking about Suntup Press. This is for the Carrion Comfort by Dan Simmons. This one is illustrated by Lun Qu. And I think this is a horror novel. I haven't read this one yet, but these are some of the most beautiful illustrations from Suntup Press, in my opinion. This is illustrated by Lun Qu again, and these are all oil on canvas, if I'm not mistaken, but they are all oil painting, and I love them. I love the illustrations. I haven't read this one though. I'm in the middle of finishing my second read of Hyperion right now. By Dan Simmons, and I loved it very much, so maybe one day I will get around to reading Carrion Comfort. But Suntup Press has been releasing some really great books with also some amazing illustrations, in my opinion, and maybe one day I will get this one or not, we will see. But truly job well done to Suntup Press and also Lun Qu for this one. And now for the last three topics, let's talk about Broken Binding announcement. And the first one, because I just talked about Dan Simmons books, so it is of course time to talk about the Broken Binding edition of Hyperion. Yeah, the first book in the Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons, and I got the chance to work with one of my dream artists, and it is Raymond Swanland. And I don't know if you know this, but I've been a fan of Raymond Swanland, I think, since the year 2013 or 2014, and that means I haven't even started reading fantasy novels yet. But that's how much I love his work. I've been paying attention to his work for many years, and then I took a shot. I took a chance because I got asked by the Broken Binding to work on Hyperion because I really love Hyperion by Dan Simmons. And then my initial thoughts, there are so many artists that will want to work on this one, but I immediately thought of Raymond Swanland. Raymond Swanland would be the right artist for this one. And of course, I asked him for this, and he agreed. It made my day, and also the result is this. This is the first reveal of the front end paper and also the 2 black and white art. There will be 6 interior black and white artwork, 1 for each title in the Hyperion. And because I just talk about how much I love Raymond Swanland's artwork, then you know that I will love everything that he does. I don't think he has done any bad illustrations, nothing in my opinion. He is one of my top favorite artists of all time, and it still feels surreal that I got to work with him on this Hyperion edition. And yeah, I hope all of you will like the illustrations and also what's to come, what's to be revealed next week. But if you're interested in getting yourself a copy of Hyperion Broken Binding Edition illustrated by Raymond Swanland, then make sure to check out the interest form link in the description down below. That way, if you signed up to the interest form, Broken Binding will announce you ahead of the general sale in order for you to have early access to the sales. So that way you won't miss out on the Broken Binding Edition of Hyperion. And then for the next one, this is for Grave Empire by Richard Swan, the Broken Binding Edition. This will feature, I believe, the original cover art, but it will have a new board art and also end paper. Board art by Jeff Brown and also end paper art by Peng Liu. And yeah, I look forward to reading this one. And even though I work in helping the illustration for this, Honestly speaking, this is one of the hardest jobs because I haven't read this book yet. So this was done, a lot of the detailing, it was done with the help of Richard Swan as well. And yeah, I think the result turns out really well. The reception was very positive. Most of the receptions of these reveals were very positive. There will be 1 or 2 negative comments, but I think that's, well, it is art. They will always have negative comments, 1 or 2 anyway, but as long as they are mostly positive, I think that's a good thing. So yeah, this one, I think you can actually purchase this one already. You can already purchase a Grave Empire Broken Binding Edition. I have already attached the link in the description down below as well. And finally, for the last announcement, this is about The House of Chains by Stephen Erickson, the 4th book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen. And the Broken Binding has revealed the front and paper illustrated by Martin Motet. And yeah, this is about Korabas, the Chain Dragon. And yeah, I think this one turns out so awesome. I really love the illustration done by Martin Motet on this. And yeah, I believe this one was revealed during the Broken Binding announcement about why the Broken Binding edition of Malazan Book of the Fallen is delayed. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts about the illustration, and hopefully there will be more news about the second set of Malazan Book of the Fallen soon. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of the first episode of SFF Spotlight in the year 2025. It feels a bit crazy that it's been 3 weeks since I did an SFF Spotlight episode, and now I'm back at hosting again, becoming a fantasy news host, just like Daniel Green. But yeah, I will do my best this year as well. Again, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you who keep on supporting my channel, my art direction, my reviews, and yeah, I have a lot of projects, and not only book reviews, but also on my booktube and also art direction. And I can only say thank you, especially to all of you who have met and talked to me, and to my patrons who keep on supporting me. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me today. As always, do let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below about the news that I spotlighted today. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.